Are we recording?
We're live. You're doing this thing, by the way, where like you're smacking this thing and it's going dink, 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 dink.
Well, don't worry about that. As long as the fucking mics are on, it doesn't matter what I do.
Okay.
Don't take the straw out of my eye when there's a rafter in yours.
That
Jesus said that.
who?
Jesus.
Jesus?
Jesus.
I know a guy named Jesus.
God's son. He steals hubcaps down at the border. Welcome to You Are Not Normal, the podcast where 90% of the time the mics work properly, and then sometimes they don't.
Yep.
Which is why I'm hyper vigilant. I make sure everything is working all the time, and I ask Gio 1,000 times, are the mics working? Can we test them? We must test the mics on average, 4 times before each podcast?
I'd say average 4. Yeah.
I have an unhealthy fear that the mics are not working every time. I don't know why,
Yes.
but my instincts are correct.
What do you mean?
Well, so this is what happened. So I didn't listen to the podcast until it came out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the podcast came out on last Thursday, the last podcast. And the minute I started playing it, I realized your mic wasn't on. And I was like, this motherfucker. What? Like, and I didn't text you right away. I waited till you like asked something of me later in the day. And my response was, why's your mic not work? And I was waiting for the perfect opportunity
What an asshole!
to hit you with it. And I wanted you to sit with anxiety all day. So when you realize, I'm sick about these mics.
Sick about it.
And
Sick
when did you realize your mic wasn't on for that podcast?
I think it was like right afterward. Fucking hilarious. I go with Francine over to the dollar store. She loves shopping for deals, and like while she's doing that, sometimes I'm just bored out of my mind because I don't give a fuck about that. And I was like, let me talk about something that gets me some energy, that gets me hyper. And I was like, baby, look at this. I made it so that as soon as I'm done recording, I don't have to transfer nothing. I don't got to put clips together, nothing. It shows up immediately in my OneDrive. It's on my phone right now. Check it out.
And you realized.
And then I started playing it for her, and I was like, fuck!
Like, did you think
that was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago because that was one that was sitting in the pocket for a while.
Yeah, we put it in the can. What
the moment that it happened, I was like, maybe I can fix this.
When you posted, when you were gonna re-record everything you said over a mic and dub it over, what'd you think like yesterday when it got posted and you knew I was gonna hear it? What did you think my reaction was gonna be?
One, I didn't think you were gonna listen to it because I'm just a bottom feeder fish. You know what I'm saying? My episodes don't fucking matter.
Not a bottom feeder.
What was it called again?
You're a feeder fish.
A feeder fish. I'm a feeder fish.
But dude, that's a term of endearment. Like a feeder fish. If it wasn't for the little feeder fish,
yes.
Like the shark wouldn't stay clean and on the straight path and healthy, and they collect all the remaining stuff left behind.
All the leftovers
all
and the scraps.
Leftovers, yeah.
Appreciate that.
But that's what teamwork is. There's got to be a great white shark.
Yes.
Right? That drives everything. And then there's got to be all these fish around them that pick everything up and keep them healthy. I think it's a beautiful analogy in life and in nature on our relationship.
Yep. No. I appreciate you, Kayla. Kayla understands what I'm talking about. She'll understand. So yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was really pissed. I was like, he's gonna see this. He's gonna bitch about it.
Well, the thing is, like, I listen to every podcast I do, not because, and it's uncomfortable for me because I think I sound like a fucking garlic knot. And but it does help me, I think, get better. It's just like training. It's like it makes me uncomfortable listening to it. I don't like my accent.
Yes.
I don't like my vocabulary. I don't like when I say
wholesaling, October.
Wholesaling. Well, those things sound good to me, but I don't like my filler words. Like I try to be more efficient, and I'm really efficient with the way I write because I'll write it out, and then I take every sentence and I'm like, does this need to be here or not? Like, how can I make this more efficient? I take out words, I take out sentences. So it takes me a couple drafts to write something up, and then it's usually pretty dialed in. But in real time when you're talking, it's obviously hard to do that unless your mics didn't work, and you could just redub over everything and get all the filler words out.
Imagine if I did that. Like, I had that much time to dedicate it.
Yeah.
No, I was like, it's not fucking worth it.
But so yeah, it's uncomfortable listening, but I listen to every single one of them, even though I don't want to. But it does help get better.
That's
of course,
extremely tough.
It's like, you know, when you would watch game film, you know, in football practice, you knew you fucked up a play, and the coach was going to yell at you and show what not to do. But that's the only way to get better. So that's what I do.
We had 7 takes for the audio check today.
Yeah, 7 takes. So let's hope it. Let's hope it.
If it fails, it's not.
We'll just shut the pod down. So
see, to hire an audio guy. That's it.
Yeah, I need a mic guy. I had a massage last night.
That's a great segue into whatever story you're gonna tell.
It's not a real story, but like the massage got rescheduled a couple times. It's Good Friday today. We had the day off at the office, so we moved the pod up to Friday. We usually film on Saturday mornings. Yes. So my schedule kind of got funky this week, and the massage was scheduled for last night instead of Monday night. Okay. Mm-hmm. When I called to reschedule, the lady said, "Okay, but Thursday night all we have is a male masseuse." And I don't even know why she asked that. Like, I don't care. It's a deep tissue massage.
What do you mean?
Do you care about that?
Yes. You don't care about that?
I don't really think about it.
I'm 100% George Costanza on this one.
Are you?
I'm 100% George Costanza on this one.
Okay. So I got thoughts. So I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality where I will let anybody rub my naked body. It doesn't matter to me. It's not a sexual thing. Like, what do I give a shit? So she says it. She goes, you know, do you care if it's all male masseuses tonight? And I said, I don't care, whatever. It's a deep tissue massage. I don't go to massages to relax. Like, I'm there to, like, you know, dig your elbow into my neck and give me some pain, which I guess sounds sexual too. But so it didn't matter to me. Like, I've had male masseuses, female, it doesn't matter. But I get there, and this guy is kind of a bigger, rugged, hairy,
lumberjack
Middle Eastern
looking
guy. He kind of looked like me. It was like me giving myself a massage, and I don't know if it's because she asked beforehand, but now all of a sudden it was an issue. And I'm like laying there getting a massage by this guy, and I was like, maybe this is weird.
What was his name?
His name was Jimmy, but that ain't his real name. That was his American name.
That was a stage name.
Yeah, it was a stage name. He barely spoke English.
Oh, shit.
But as he's like, you know, give me, you know, it's a deep tissue massage. I'm there for like a sports massage, but just like the whole aspect, like I just kept thinking, I mean, this big burly dude is touching my body. It's kind of strange.
Funny son kid.
And it got me to think, it's like, well, do I care really if it's a male or a female? And then I started thinking, if it's a dude, I would rather him be real feminine. You know? Like, it was something about a big, burly, hairy guy rubbing me down that made me uncomfortable. And I was like, if this was like a young, feminine gay guy, it wouldn't bug me.
You'd be comfortable.
I'd be 100% comfortable. Like, for some reason.
He'd be calling you sweetie.
Yeah. For some reason, it just made me a little uncomfortable. I think she put it in my head. She put that bad energy out there. And so I was going to ask you how you felt about it, but, you know, you're a sexist, obviously, and you said you only want women massages.
Did it move?
No, it didn't move, thank God.
Oh, okay, it didn't move. That's all
So
that fucking matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
A gym teacher once told me that. But yeah, it didn't move. So anyway, got the massage, and I think from here on out, and maybe I will prefer. I'm going to ask, you know, what is this? You know, I don't mind a male masseuse, but is he burly or not? And if he's burly, I don't want it.
If you start to have an inclination either way, you care, and eventually you're going to get to the point where it's like, no, I only want this dude who looks just like Leonardo DiCaprio, yeah. Soft, feminine hands, and then you're at that point, it's even worse. Yeah. I would say cut it
under 5'7" and have supple hands. So, Anyway,
You don't want to start. Oh,
dude, let me
God.
tell a sad story.
Okay.
So I had a great
Ups and downs.
massage therapist out here.
Okay.
Great massage therapist. And with this pod is going to take a horrible right-hand turn.
Man, I was just crying laughing. And you're going to take that away
So
from me.
this is the reason I don't have a regular massage therapist. I had one. She was great. And it was like, she did active release therapy. She did deep tissue. It was like, she was real knowledgeable. I would do a 90-minute massage every single week. And sometimes I would get nauseous and throw up after the massage because it was so painful. But it was the first person I found that could find the points on my right side that all led to all my issues. And she would dig her elbow into my chest and find this one point and move my arm around where I would have this pain of release from all the way from my chest to my neck, down my back and down to my fingertips. Like whatever she was finding all these times, she would find a different point and she would just dig into it. She would get under my lat. She would get under my pec, and it was, incredibly painful, but like I was healing every week. Like the more she would do it, the better I would feel.
Okay.
And
right.
So I was going to see this woman forever. I was like, oh my God, I finally got a good person out here. She had moved here from New York with her boyfriend. They moved down here to start a family, get married, all that. New York too expensive. There's all the psychopath homeless people and all the crap going on up there.
I've seen the videos.
So she's down here and you've been trying to get pregnant. She gets pregnant, right? And she finds out she's pregnant at the doctor. She goes home and she's like, I'm going to wait and surprise my boyfriend when he gets home from work. Tell him I'm pregnant. We're having a family.
Hey.
Boyfriend dies in a car accident on the way home. You can't even write that into a movie. It would be too sad. So she sends me this long email explaining it to me. And like, I got choked up reading it. I was like, I can't think of a more horrific conclusion to that situation.
Terrible.
How terrible is that? Did that just bring you just all the way back down to earth?
Yeah.
After we were joking about gay massages?
Don't want to.
Oh, it was, but I mean, I wrote her back and I was like, I just, I don't even know what to say. Like, if you, what do you say to something like that? I was just like, I can't believe it. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine what you're going through. If you ever want to talk about it, give me a call. I've been through a lot, but I don't know how to console you. And she said, I appreciate that, but I'm moving back to New York to be with my family. And she got up and left. And ever since, I've been looking for a new massage therapist. And then Jimmy, with his hairy knuckles, rubbed me down last night. So that's how it all circled back right there. But there is something to be said about a one-armed, beautiful woman, right? Is there something weird about that?
No. I think that the imperfections, you're curious. As soon as you see that, like, you're just curious about it. And curiosity is what makes it sexy.
Yeah.
What do you do with that? How's that going? What kind of... How do you play around with that?
Yeah, it's
you just start asking fucking questions,
Is it purely like a fetish kind of kink thing, or is it like, is there something else like inside of us evolutionary that makes us? Is it like a damaged, like an injured fawn we want to go fucking swat and eat? Like, what is the? Like, I always boil everything down to like ancestry. Like, why is it? Why are maybe not every man is drawn to a one-armed woman. I guess we're making assumptions here. but it seems,
if you're not normal, you fucking are.
But it seems like when there's little, like, I don't want a perfect 10, right? I don't want, like, I think we
Have you met a perfect 10?
Yeah. I think we want that.
Okay.
I met Carmen Electra in the early 2000s. At an event. And like that woman, like as I'm like looking at her and talking to her, I'm like, I can't
There's nothing going on here. There's just, everything is just, wow.
It was just she's perfect. I couldn't believe how beautiful that woman
She's amazing.
was. So like as a perfect 10, it's like, do you really want somebody absolutely perfect, or do you like a little imperfection? Do you like a misplaced freckle, or a little bit of, and like it's so funny because women are so self-conscious about like cellulite and stuff, but like every woman has cellulite.
No man gives a fuck.
And if they do, that ain't the dude for you.
That's a
If you got
bitch.
some dude complaining about cellulite, that's embarrassing. Like what are you talking about? I want a real woman, corn fed from the Midwest. Like give me some cellulite, for God's sakes.
Corn fed.
You know, so it's like, I think women are worried about stuff like that, but that's the stuff we like. We like those imperfections. We're all 100%. Human. We all 100%. Got them. And I think if you're trying to date a perfect 10, like textbook 10, then it just puts pressure on you then. It's like, oh, this person's way out of my league, you know?
What did you find with that perfect 10 that wasn't it?
With Carmen Electra? Well, she was a celebrity, and she didn't. I don't
she didn't
think
give two fucks about TONYMONT.
She wasn't going to give me her number. I met her at a bodybuilding event. But
she's like, Anthony Montalbano, is that you?
Is that you? TONYMONT's here. No, she could care less. But I like the imperfections. Like it's I don't know why though. I don't know.
Give an example.
Psychology of it.
What's been an imperfection that you were like?
Well, there's weird stuff, and then there's like that's what I'm saying. There's an extreme, right?
We got two categories.
So imperfections, I'm saying like, you know, somebody, you know, has a woman has her ears don't have earlobes. They just attach to her face.
All right, whatever. Nobody gives a fuck.
Like I'm saying little stuff.
Okay.
Or they got what are those things on their feet? You know what I mean?
Fucking.
All our nanas got them.
A fucking bunion.
A bunion on the foot. Like that's an imperfection.
I can live with a
right?
Bunion. Let's ask a better question. Where do you draw the line? That's a better fucking question.
I don't know. I don't know if I found the line yet. But okay, so that's like normal stuff, right? That's all stuff that's like, oh, it's an imperfection, but it makes you who you are, and I still love you and all that, yes. And almost find it attractive because you're not perfect, and that's more beautiful than being perfect. But there's an extreme to it, and there was a time at the bike shop where two different women came into the bike shop, and I'll tell you both of them absolutely beautiful.
Smoke shows.
This smoke shows. This girl comes in, taller, blonde, and she's beautiful woman. And she comes up to the counter and she's asking about a special needs pedal for her bike that can strap. They're special needs pedals that strap to like a fake foot or what do you call it? Whatever.
A prosthetic.
God, you're on it today.
I'm catching shit, though. I'm catching
shit.
So
a prosthetic. You know? It's for prosthetic legs. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we could. I don't carry that in stock, but we can definitely look it up and order.
You take my belt off, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I end up ordering a prosthetic special needs type pedal for this lady.
Holy shit.
And as we get it all figured out, I'm checking, checking her out, but she's paying at the register, and I say, like, the curiosity is killing me. She's got a fake leg, right?
Yes,
beautiful. It's like one of those with the little blade at the bottom of it, and curiosity is killing this cat. And I finally just say, "All right, how'd you lose the leg?"
That's how you said it.
That's exactly how I said it. And she goes, "Well, interesting enough, she was down in Mexico."
Okay.
And her family owns a race car. She was at the Nora race.
Which you obviously know.
Which I obviously know. This was probably 2017
the fact that you know
ish race. So I was actually down there chasing the McNeil racing team. My buddies that race down there, they got a 6-door race truck, which is kind of cool. But I'm down there with the McNeils, and we're watching the race, and we kind of stopped halfway through the race, and we were just kind of hanging around San Felipe, and the race goes all the way to Cabo. Well, her family had a race car in that race as well. She was racing one day. It's a 5-day race. It's like, 1,500 miles or whatever. And they flipped their car in a turn, and it's super dusty. And there's no wind. There's been no rain. So it's real dusty.
It's not settling.
So when you're down there, dude, there's been times I was in El Diablo, this dried out lake bed outside of San Felipe, where like we're cruising at night and the dust is literally like 2 feet above the cab of the truck, and you can't. It's like a black cloud above you, and the only clarity is like the first 15 feet from the ground up, and all this dust just stays in this bowl. It's the weirdest thing. So dust just stays in these valleys. And she, they were making a turn, they flipped, and then what you should never fucking do is get out of the car, especially during a race. So she unbuckles and she gets out of the car before it's all clear and before somebody stops and makes sure nobody's going to, drive by. She gets out, boom, gets hit by another race car. Rips like some type of, I don't know, artery or something happens in her leg. Starts swelling up. It couldn't be an artery. She would have bled to death. Whatever it was, it starts swelling up, and they tie it up, and they get a helicopter down, and they're halfway down to Cabo, and they're like, it's going to take us, 27 minutes to get to La Paz Hospital, or it's going to take an hour to get back to San Diego Hospital. And they're like, well, we don't know if she's bleeding to death or whatever. We just take her to La Paz. She goes to the hospital in La Paz in Mexico, wakes up with a missing leg. Stays down there for a couple weeks. They fly her back to San Diego, and they're like, God, you should have came here. We would have saved your leg, which is the last thing. So don't get surgery in Mexico either, Brazil or Mexico. Even though I love Mexico, I'd rather have surgery in San Diego. So that's how she loses her leg. And we end up knowing a bunch of the same people and all that, but she mentions she has a boyfriend and all this. So I don't push the fact that I want to take her out.
Yeah, whatever.
I get all that stuff ordered. She leaves. Something about that missing leg and that story just does it for me. It's like she's such a badass, like she's missing half her leg, but she's hot and she's a badass. So it's just very attractive.
Yeah.
Literally the next woman that walks in the shop, beautiful blonde, short, not tall. That's the difference. There's another difference I'll get into in a second here. So she comes in and she's asking about all these different types of bikes. I don't want pedal brakes. I don't want a beach cruiser. I want something with some gears. I want handbrakes, but I'm worried about the handbrakes. I've never had them. I'm like, no problem. Start bringing some bikes down. She goes, is there any way to adjust the levers closer to the handlebars? Because, they're, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And I'm like adjusting them. And I try to find ones that can be adjusted, the throw as close as possible with still being able to brake. I'm like, it's probably a disc brake, over a rim brake. So let's find the disc brakes, blah, blah, blah. So I get like a few different bikes down, and she's yet to jump on one. She's so focused on these goddamn levers, right? So finally, and I'm a blunt person, and I just say, why are you worried about the levers? Like, I know that you've never ridden a bike with handbrakes, but what is the concern? I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then she goes, well, because of these. And she had frog hands. She didn't have traditional independent fingers like I have, or a gorilla would have. She had frog hands, dude. So like, imagine a frog hand. It's like they were little tiny
Nubs,
but they were all webbed too. So she had these frog hands. And then it was apparent why she was worried. She was concerned about the throw of the brake lever.
How far did they come out?
I'm going to say her fingers were that long. Maybe 2 inches. She had 2-inch fingers that were all frog hands.
Holy shit.
So, dude, I found a bike for her. We got everything adjusted. What? She got on it. Her little fingers worked. And I was like, the minute she said, because of these, and held up her fingers, I've never been in love, but I can't imagine it feels any different than how I felt that very
All
moment.
of a sudden, in the background, you start hearing the music playing. Tonight, the music seems so loud.
but I mean,
baby,
I know I find it attractive, but I don't know why.
What do you mean, man? I can understand the prosthetic leg because they even made a movie about it, and I don't know who it was, but there was some hot ass lady in that.
No, remember the lady that lost her arm to the shark attack?
What?
And then she was a surfer. They made a movie about that.
Oh yeah.
And she's hot.
there's a
Dude,
hot
I bet
block.
she gets
Wow.
some weird DMs. But yeah, so I don't know what it is. The frog hands, did it for me. The missing leg, missing arm, anything like that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys now know that Tony's not looking for anybody that's in the. I've done 2 categories. I've got weird stuff and normal. He doesn't like anything in that normal category whatsoever. But frog hands, these.
Yeah. Anybody has frog hands, call in.
If you've gotten your leg blown off in some badass accident, call in. We're here for that as well. Just drop your name in the comments below.
Cellulite.
Cellulite, love some cellulite. I feel like if you make a big deal about cellulite, you're just
You don't love women.
yeah.
Like it's kind of like putting sugary creamer in your coffee and saying you love coffee. You don't love coffee.
You like
love
sugar.
creamer
Yeah.
with caffeine in it,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm a all natural dude. I like black coffee. I like a natural woman. Throw the deodorant away.
Throw the deodorant away for who?
I haven't worn deodorant since 1997.
Throw
Probably.
the deodorant away for everybody.
I don't think it's good for you.
You
Yeah.
want your women without deodorant. You're without deodorant.
Yeah, 100%. I don't like chemicals. I don't like all the perfume and makeup and all that shit. Like, throw it all out. Yeah, not into it.
You got.
It's artificial. I don't know. I don't like it.
You want to be like she smells like me. I smell like her. She knows my scent. Type shit.
Well, it's pheromones. Like, if you don't, here's the thing about pheromones. Like, and here's the thing about plastic surgery and braces and augmenting your everything and, getting Botox and dyeing your hair and getting your nose fixed. Now, when you're looking for a mate, like you could be meeting somebody with not the genetics that you're attracted to because they've had all this work.
Yeah.
And now you're reproducing with that person.
Yeah.
And that's throwing off the Darwinism over here. It's throwing off the balance. And it's the same with scent. And it's the same with perfume and makeup and all that. If you're not attracted to somebody by the natural, like we all know, like we've been in relationships where you smell your partner's hair or something. You're like, damn, that smells good. It's like, yeah, I haven't washed it in 3 days. It's because they're pheromones. Like you're attracted to that person, but visually and scent and sight and all that stuff.
These.
The frog hands. So I think if you are artificially trying to smell better for somebody all the time, and that person is attracted to that scent, that's not truly who you are. And I think if you if I'm thinking of like evolutionary, before we had perfume, before we had all that, it's probably nature's way of saying you shouldn't be reproducing with this person. Like your DNA doesn't match up. Like if we really boil it down to Darwinism, it's like, no, we're probably more naturally attracted to somebody's pheromones, where we're going to have a stronger, we're going to reproduce stronger genetics because we're a match. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then you have all these fucking toothless hillbillies running around.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what that leads to.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my thought on it.
Nice. I like to hear that.
Yeah. I'm a hippie, dude. People don't realize it. I threw away my deodorant in like the late 90s. I was in maybe I was a freshman or something, maybe 8th grade, and I was like this is before all the stuff started coming out about all the aluminum. I just remember I was putting this shit on one morning and I was like, God, I hate putting deodorant on. It felt so foreign. It was gross to me. And I've never worn lotion, or never chapstick, none of that bullshit. And it just every time I would put it on, I hated it. And finally I was just like, I don't think I need it. And I stopped wearing it. And nobody ever says I stink. It's like I take 2 showers a day. So it's not, everybody thinks oh, you're not wearing deodorant, you're going to stink all day. That's not the case at all.
I think there's 2 different personality types for that, or 2 different types of that, because there's people who will absolutely suffer for the opposite reason. Like my girlfriend puts hair in, extenders to her hair, and when that drapes and touches her skin, she gets rashes, and she breaks out everywhere, and she's in a worse mood for it. And I'm like, I like your natural hair. Why don't you just wear your natural hair? Nope, don't want to do it. Da, 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 da. She would rather suffer the time. She hates every fucking moment that she's spending in there. And then it's actually bad for her skin. Then it's bad for her mood. Then it's bad for everything. But she'll be like, nope, makes me look pretty.
Yeah. And
Rather
I think
fucking do
that's
it.
more a woman on woman thing. Like when all the women, so in San
I see what you're saying.
when I lived in San Diego, like all the fads start out on the coast and then they kind of move in, right? And when everybody started, all these, women started getting the lip injections. Oh my God. It was
The
just
fake lips.
it was like 5 years ago. They all started getting these huge lips out of nowhere. Every woman had these, inflated lips. And it was so obnoxious. It was so apparent that they had these fillers, and always the excuse on stuff like that. And it's the same with the fake butt thing. Like I can't think of anything more grotesque than a fake butt. That's just so gross to me. But it's like when you see it's like their excuse every time. And somebody I know out there, when they got it done, I was like, why in the hell did you do your lips like that? Your lips are perfectly fine the way they are. And this happens a lot where you ask somebody why they do it and they go, well, it's because all the pressure men put on you. I was like, what dude is telling you to inject something into your lips? Well, aren't guys attracted to women with big lips? I'm like, that's one part of something that somebody might be attracted to.
Maybe.
But why do you give a shit about attracting that person anyway? Attract the people that are attracted to you naturally.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of dudes out there. There's dudes that like frog hands.
There's dudes that like everything out there.
There's dudes that like thin lips. I don't fucking know. Or it doesn't matter to them or something. It's like, so it's always like, oh, it's because men put pressure on a society, but it's like, no, it's kind of a women thing. Women kind of battle with that kind of stuff, and it comes and goes. Like I think the fake lip thing is kind of gone.
I think men do the same thing though too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, men do the same.
Men will try to do something that they'd be like, oh, don't women want to see this? Don't women want more of this?
And then they turn into a douchebag. And then all the women are like, nobody, we didn't get together and say we wanted this. Yeah, we didn't want the fake teeth and the fucking
the chest out,
with
the hair poking out and the gold chain.
Yeah,
going down Miami Boulevard.
And the manicured eyebrows and all the laser.
That stuff started happening when I was in high school and middle school. Guys were doing that stuff when I was in high school.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. That was a thing. The double line through the thing. That was a big thing they did. Earrings were really big. I never got earrings. I thought that was weird. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
My brother, to this day, still takes every picture with a duck face on. Like he does this. He does that little fucking.
Is anything more frustrating than the duck face?
Fucking more frustrating.
Duck face selfies. I can't.
You know what else I fucking hate? When people are going out to get drinks and they take the boomerang with everybody going in the middle and taking this fucking thing where everybody's holding the drink and they all do cheers and they take that. Oh my God, I hate that more than anything in the world.
I do hate that too.
I hate that fucking, like, people who, oh God damn it. There was somebody in DMs today talking about like how they were going through some tough times. Maybe this goes with the tough times we were talking about earlier. Maybe it goes with nothing. Who cares? Fuck, I lost my goddamn train of thought.
Tough times. We were talking about clinking glasses, the boomerang thing.
People only show what they think is their best times when it comes to social media.
Of course.
And I don't understand why, because you're working so hard to keep up a facade that I feel like everybody can see through very, very easily. So what is the point of that? When it comes to your physical appearance, your social appearance, your mental health, all those things.
Yeah, it all comes down to fear of judgment. People care what other people think, and they think if I put out that I'm not perfect, everybody's going to know I'm not perfect, and I'm going to lose some type of, credibility or notoriety or status or some bullshit. But it's when you do start talking, when you do start showing your true self
that
on
you like
social
frog
media,
hands,
is when you start building a true brand. And like, I can't tell you how many DMs I get about, it might be, well, I'm not gonna lie here, but I get I was gonna say it's half and half, but I get a ton of DMs about when I talk about mental health. I probably get more DMs when I post something about mental health than I do about
a Rolex or anything like that.
Oh, of course. Anything like that. But it's like the mental health stuff and my past. so many people DM me like, dude, I heard your story on, Real Estate Disruptors about your murder trial.
That was the first time.
And you like that, inspired me because I have a similar story. And it's like, if I never put that out there, and shout out to Steve Trang for fucking making me do it, because that was one thing I was like, I don't know if I should talk about this. It's heavy. He's like, talk about it.
Great.
Those are your true people. Like, be true to yourself, so you're attracting. It goes back to the pheromones. It's full circle. You can fucking fake it and bring on other fake people that are drawn to this fake facade, or you can naturally be your natural self. And now the audience you're drawing in, you are more naturally attracted to each other and what you have to offer.
Me and my girlfriend were talking about this yesterday, where she was like, I follow so many people from high school. And I was like, she's like, I'm up to date with their lives. They're doing nothing. Why the fuck do I even care? Like, I'm spending hours a day sometimes finding about how this person's baby mama is with this person's baby daddy and this. She's like, I don't even know why I'm even doing, like, why am I even following these people anymore? There's just so much.
There's a sick curiosity about it too. And I used to struggle with that, where I would follow certain people that drove me insane just to get that reaction.
Explain that, because I don't get that. Why?
I think it's just a morbid curiosity about how can like this person be so fucking stupid or whatever. Like, you almost can't believe like how bad it is that you want to fucking watch it so you can just like be like, does anybody else see this? Am I crazy?
That energy drives me fucking mad.
Yeah, and
I get so anxious off of that.
I think naturally obviously a lot of people are drawn to that because there's fighting.
There's a million of them. They love
social media.
They love it.
But until you recognize that and truly say, because I used to do it with just a couple of people. Like, there was like maybe 2 people towards the end that I followed just so I could take screenshots or share
you
and
fucking idiot.
talk shit to my buddies about. But it does get to the point when you really, look inside yourself and you're like, is this really a good use of time? And it's not, and you stop doing it. It's not like you miss it.
No.
I think it's just when you're in the middle of it and you're doing it, it seems fun. But until you stop doing it, you're not going to realize it was such a complete waste of time.
This shit drives me fucking insane. I'll go through comments and you'll see people in there who think they're experts about everything, and someone's going to automatically make a comment about something that was unrelated to the topic whatsoever. They make it about themselves. Like, I was thinking about that this morning, like how much, what is it called? Hurt people. And like how you should just never take any kind of shade thrown your way with any kind of, I guess, legitimacy to it. Because who the hell has time to hate on somebody else? Like, I cannot picture myself having enough time on my hands to go into somebody's Instagram, jump into their fucking reels or their post and say, I hate you for this reason. No, you shouldn't do it that way. You're wrong. Because who gives up? Just unfollow, don't watch it.
It all boils down to narcissism. Like, these people think that people want to hear their opinion and their opinion matters, but it doesn't mean shit. And you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to convince anybody of anything. You're just conflicting with them. You're never going to meet this person. It's a complete waste of time. But you know what I think of is like a good way to, if anybody out there struggles with talking shit on social media.
Or you mean getting that stuff? Getting hate?
No, I'm saying they're doing the hate.
Oh, okay.
Or they're getting the hate and they're responding to it.
Okay.
Like, any type of conflict on social media that's negative, it's like, I always think, what would my dad or what would my grandfather think about me if they knew this is how I was spending my time? Like, how embarrassing would that be? Right? Like, my grandfather who went through the Depression, couldn't fucking read or write, like, grew up fucking hustling on the streets.
Didn't know where he was going to get his food from.
No, poor as shit. Didn't speak the language.
Probably didn't shower for a few days.
Kid. And yeah, I mean, like, his parents were, literally their entire lives they moved to this country and they couldn't speak English. I mean, it's like, yeah, the struggles they must have went through in 1930, 1940. It's like, Jesus Christ. Imagine that person that was a role model for me and the way I live my life. If he saw me, getting on somebody's page and talking shit about something they're doing. Like how embarrassed, like the shame I would feel from, my grandfather.
In your ancestry.
God, it would just be so embarrassing. So that's what I think about. That's what keeps me on the straight and narrow. I had this kid give the bike shop a 1-star Yelp review one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something so stupid. It was like, I came in with a flat tire and I needed it fixed. It was July 4th. The shop was really busy. Tony grabbed my tire from me, fixed it while he was checking 2 other people out that were buying bikes, and put a new tube in my tire for me, zipped it back on the bike in about 15 minutes, and handed me the tire or whatever, handed me the bike after it was fixed, and rang me up. I said thank you, and he didn't say anything to me. He just said, "Who's next?" And he gave me a 1-star review for that. It was the busiest day. We probably sold 120 bikes that day. I was trying to multitask. He could have went to any other shop in town and they would have said, "Yeah, leave it. We'll get to it in a few days." I did it in real time as I sold 2 other bikes and fixed it as I was doing other shit in 15 minutes. And because he said thank you and I didn't respond to it, probably because there were so many people talking that I didn't hear him, but he gave me a 1-star review, this kid. So I went on to Yelp, like the private message, and I wrote a long paragraph of, how he should feel shame for this 1-star review and how embarrassing it was for him and his family. And I asked him, no, I did. I said, what would your grandfather think if I found him and read him this message? Like, do you think he'd be proud of you? I said, you should be ashamed of yourself.
God damn.
And that kid fucking came into the bike shop the next day. He walks in and he goes, "Hey, you're Tony, right?" I go, "Yeah."
Goddamn right, I'm
He
Tony.
goes, "I want to shake your hand." And he shook my hand. He goes, "Dude, what you wrote me on Yelp was 100% true. I was so embarrassed after I read that, and I took the review down." Like, he got it. And I think he truly did think, what would my grandfather think of me being a little tattletale bitch about something that I should have got a fucking 5-star review for. He gave me a 1-star review because I didn't respond to his thank you. Like, soft fucking America, right?
I think it just needs more of this. More of calling out that shit every single day.
Yeah, I don't let people get away with anything. And Kayla will always say it when we're out and about and somebody's doing something.
Shout out to Kayla.
I immediately fucking say something when somebody's acting crazy, especially TSA and shit. I can't keep my mouth shut. Every time I go through TSA, if they're fucking
assholes.
up, I will tell them, "Hey, you need to do a fucking better job." And I don't let anybody get away with anything. And it's not because I like conflict. If everybody spoke to people the way I do, where I'm not mean, I'm just like, "Hey, this needs to be more efficient," or "You did this. Why is my bag sitting over there for 5 minutes while you guys are bullshitting? Like, you need to get going because my flight leaves in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll call people out anytime they need to be called out. And I think if everybody did that, everybody needs a father figure, and they need to be told what the fuck to do. I need it. Like, if I didn't have people telling me, like, "Hey, dude, you're fucking up. You shouldn't do this." Like, I'm like, "Shit, you're right." Like, you don't know it until somebody snaps you out of it. Mm-hmm. And it makes people uncomfortable whenever I do it because I'm, like, just brutally honest with people. But, like, it doesn't make me nervous. It's just something they need to hear. And the people that take it as constructive criticism, maybe it does make them better. And the people that don't, they're going to be a piece of shit anyway. So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. You dish it, but you can take it as well. Like, you just posted that story on Instagram of me being a piece of shit and not getting my audio right. But if you forget to post a daily dose, I'll be like, "Tony, what the fuck are you doing?" You'll be like, "Yep, on it." So exactly the same way. And I can appreciate that from you, Tony.
Yeah. I do it out of love with you, though. I mean, I know you work hard, and it's just sometimes when you have a little pea brain, it's hard to remember to check the mics. I get it. How are we gonna end this thing? Where are we at? What time are we at?
We're good.
What time?
We're at 47 minutes.
47 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. So I'm having surgery on Tuesday on my tricep tendon.
Yes. Damn, that is right around the corner.
Yeah, a couple days. So the next pod, I'll actually be in a fucking
sling.
I'll be in a brace. My arm will look like this.
No, it won't.
Oh yeah.
No, it won't.
I'll be in a brace.
You're not gonna have it here?
It can't bend until 4 weeks.
So it's either at your side or
Well,
it's
it's slowly being bent up every week until it's 90 degrees, and then
Holy
I get
fuck.
it out of the brace.
That's hilarious.
So it'll be kind of straight,
Okay.
which will be fine. My arm's mostly straight during the day anyway. Weekends make me nervous. So I was get a little nervous on the weekends. I hope people watch Seinfeld.
Man.
Get a little nervous on the weekends.
God damn it.
What kind of line is that?
fuck?
But I was talking to Coach Pokey this morning.
Whew.
It was my every 3-4 week call with him,
Oh, nice.
and I just did a podcast with him too. That a couple really good responses from that podcast so far. So I do appreciate it. It's a great podcast. It's called The Hero's Journey with Kevin Polkey, Polky.
Jeez.
So if anybody wants to check that out.
You pronounce it like pokey every time.
Well, it is Pokey, but it's spelled Polky. Maybe you say it Polky. I don't know. But everybody calls him Coach Pokey.
All right, go.
All right. Anyway, so I did a podcast with Coach Pokey. He's a mentor, life business coach of mine. I've known for 25 years, and I was telling him about this surgery coming up on Tuesday, and how like the first couple days I was really like bummed out, and just trying to get my thoughts together and find the positive in it, and how can I turn this negative into a positive.
Yep.
And he said something interesting and I told him, I was like, the last couple of days I've actually felt good about it. And I said, this morning, I actually am excited about getting the surgery because that's the only thing that's going to fix it. My elbows hurt. They feel like they're on fire because the tendons aren't attached.
You got a fucking bone flying around in there somewhere or something.
And it's uncomfortable. I have no strength. I can't work out the way I do.
No pain, though.
Yeah, I'm not really in pain. It's just, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It burns a little bit. Like it's just kind of this like inflammation feeling in my bone, but it's not like painful.
Yeah.
But anyway, I need to get it fixed, and now I'm excited to get it fixed and start my recovery. And I can't wait to challenge myself on, getting back to better than I ever was. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it in a whole new light as of this morning.
That's
and
awesome.
one book he recommended, that he tore his quad years ago, and it took him 6 weeks in a brace of not being able to bend it till he started getting better. So he was able to relate. It's so funny because me and him, like a lot of things in our lives mirror each other, and that's why he's such a great mentor for me.
Yeah.
But he was talking about that, and he said the thing that struck him during his quad surgery and recovery was this book that he reads quite a bit called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I've never read the book. I downloaded it this morning, though. And he said there was a line in there that turned it around for him during his recovery, and it is, you have the ability to write the story. You have the ability to write the story you're ultimately going to tell. So as we this podcast, we tell a lot of stories on social media. I tell a lot of stories. And even on his podcast the other day, there was this long hero's journey story of resilience. And that's the decision we make when we're going through adversity. And it's like, we're going through the adversity. We can't change that. It has to happen. But how are you going to tell this story at the end? Is it going to be, I struggled for 6 months. I got into alcohol abuse. I was self-medicating. I was depressed. I didn't work. I didn't talk to my friends. I didn't travel. I became a hermit, and I became destroying of myself in my mind. Or, I had the surgery. Every single day I posted about it on social media on how I was getting better that day. I did exactly what the doctor was telling me. I ate better. I did more cardio. I did legs for 3 months until my arms were recovered. My legs are now in the best shape of their life. And when I got out of the braces, this is how I changed my workout. And I'm so glad I did, because now I'm bigger, stronger, leaner, faster, and more healthy than ever. Like, we have that ability. We can tell this story however we want to tell it with the actions we take during the adversity. And him telling me that this morning really kind of lit a fire under my ass to do that and journal it, probably video form through this process.
Yep.
And I want to be able 6 months, a year from now to tell this story where it's going to inspire somebody.
Show the next person how to do it too.
Yeah. So
I think that was a very, very beautiful, real story about how people really can get into alcoholism and start to abuse different things in life. And it's all about that choice that you make and that story that you ultimately want to tell.
Yeah.
Great story, dude.
Thanks,
Love
dude.
that.
All right. Well, we'll leave on that note. Thanks for joining You Are Not Normal podcast with Tony Mont and Giovanni Molina.
He knows my last name. He doesn't know one of the dudes' names here? Holy fuck, man. Worked for a year and a half.
Who?
Remember we had the thing. I threw a little game in here where we had to fill out people's last names. And the two people who have worked here the longest, he got wrong. One of them, he put an H in there. It went from Snyder to Schneider.
Yeah.
And the other one was Costanza, which you should have got right because it's George's last name from Seinfeld. And you called him Hernandez. You fucking remember.
I still thought it was Hernandez.
You still thought it was. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's just little stuff. Can I tell a quick story? Do we got time?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right. So I inherit that trait from my father,
What do you mean that trait?
Joe Montalbano, where it's like I'll never remember last names, birthdays.
You
special
sound like I'm an
occasions.
Aquarius, and that's why I can't.
No, it's just the way I grew up.
All right,
like
whatever.
those little things were not stressed in my life. Like I never got a birthday cake. I never had a Christmas tree. No, I never got told happy birthday on my birthday.
Yep.
Like that. Just those things were not important in my family's life. Which
That's the culture.
that was the culture. I think. We could do a whole other podcast on that.
That'd be great.
But it just wasn't important. Those little things were not important to my family. So I grew up just not thinking they're important either, or just not caring. And people's last names just wasn't important to me. But I'll tell you this quick story before we get out of here. My dad, God rest his soul, and we tell crazy stories about Joe all the time.
It's happened every episode.
I love him to death, though. Like I wouldn't change anything about him.
Yeah.
Like this story is not to throw shade at him. It's he had other strengths. But when he retired from his lifetime career at the factory, he got forced into retirement, and it was probably 2007. Yep. 2007. It was right before the crash.
And he'd been working how many years there?
35 years or
35
something.
years.
Never missed a sick. Never called in sick. Broke his foot one time on the job. Walked in the next day. They tried handing him a check for $1,200 so he wouldn't sue him, and he ripped the check up and said, "I ain't suing you. Well, I ain't cashing this either. It was my fault. I was fucking around on the rafter or whatever."
Shout out to Joe.
So that's the kind of guy he was. But he when he retired, he was switching all his financials over, and I was on his checking account, his savings account, all of his stuff, just in case something happened. Like I had access to everything if he was to fall ill or something. So my name was on everything, and he was switching all of his financials over out of like 401ks to like safe bonds and shit, where it wasn't like no matter what the economy did, he was still gonna his money was gonna be safe. So he's working with his lawyer and his financial guy, and he calls me one day, and he goes, "Tone," he goes, "I need your social security number," which, whatever. Not everybody's going to remember everybody's social security number. You would think he'd have it written down, but he didn't. So I give him my social security number.
Mm-hmm.
And then calls me 3 minutes later, and he goes, "The guy wants your birthday." And I was like, "All right." And he goes, "It's June, right? June something?" And I was like, "No, it's July 29th. He goes, 80 what? 2, 1? I go, 3. He goes, "All right, cool. So July 29th, 83? Yep. Okay, cool." Then, so I think that's going to be the
Damn
end
it,
of
Joe.
But that's typical. He would call me in June, like June 9th sometimes. Be like, "Happy birthday." I'm like, "My birthday's not for 6 weeks." Like that was a common theme. So it wasn't out of the ordinary.
You're 6 weeks early, Joe.
So then he calls another couple minutes later, and he goes, "Is your legal name Anthony or Tony?" And I'm like, "Well, this is where I got to draw the line." I'm like, "Dad," I go, "you signed my birth certificate." And he goes, I don't fucking remember. That was, you know, at the time he's like, that was fucking 30 years ago. 34 years ago. You think I remember? I'm like, you don't remember my social security, you don't know my birthday, and you don't know my name?
Jesus, man.
And he's like, what is it, Anthony or Tony? I'm like, it's Anthony. He's like, all right, that's what I thought. And it hangs up.
That's not what he thought.
So that's why I don't remember
Thank
Rico's last
God
name.
he didn't have to know your middle name, because he probably didn't know what that one was either.
Yeah, he didn't know that at all. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining You Are Not Normal with Anthony Montalbano and Giovanni Molina. We'll see you guys next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching my video. If you'd like to watch more videos, my playlist is right here. And if you'd like to subscribe, click down here. I'll see you guys at the top.